everyone, and welcome to another Resistance 2 speedrun tutorial. In this tutorial, I'll show you an orb jump strategy I found in order to skip the entire Redwoods road battle. So this is the road battle that's currently going on. It's quite the vicious battle, but we can just kind of go out of bounds and skip all that because, I mean, why go through it, you know? Why play the game as intended when we can just break things? So what I'm going to do is, first I'm going to get rid of all these stubborn enemies that we have here, and I'm going to collect the marksman. Now I'm going to find a piece of debris right here. This is my preferred piece of debris in order to get out of bounds. And we will be going right up there out of bounds so that we can skip this entire battle. So I'm going to do an orb jump. If you don't know how to do an orb jump, I will link the video so that you can see the tutorial on how to do that. But we're just going to do an orb jump right here. Alright. We are good to go. We're going to turn slightly, and once we start hitting these branches right there on screen, we're just going to jump, and here we are. Now we can follow the road all the way down here. As you can see, the road battle is currently going on. And we're just going to go through some woods. And as you can see, this is the barrier right here that one of our comrades is supposed to break after the battle is finished. But we can just get around that. So right now we're pretty much good to go. And now, walking through like swamps and water in this game is pretty slow, so we can actually just follow the swamp as well. And yeah, just continue forward on land instead of going really slowly through all that mud and dirt. At some point here, we will actually have to go back inbounds because unfortunately there's nowhere else to go. There's an invisible wall here. So right at this drone part, we'll have to go back in bounds, and that's basically it. Now, this skip here is a bit of a minor skip, but it is a little wee bit faster. So once we get to the this little tiny lumber yard here, we can actually use this log right here, and we can use an orb jump to get on top of this little shack, and we can bypass the swamp completely. Now, that's only a tiny bit faster just because you don't have to go through the swamp, but, well, it's worth a few extra seconds of a time save. In this tutorial, we will actually be doing what I call the Titan skip, and it takes place right here at the motel section in Orick, California. Now, this was an orb jump strategy that I found just messing around one night, actually. And it turns out that this rock that I'm standing on right here is actually the perfect height to do an orb jump in order to get out of bounds and skip the entire Titan fight that takes place just beyond that spire there. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do an orb jump right here, get on top of the spire, get out of bounds, and go all the way around. I'm going to try that right now. As you can see, the chimeras start shooting at you once you fire an orb, but don't worry, they can't really hit you. Alright, so now we're out of bounds. And the Titan fight actually takes place like right in here. That's where the entire Titan battle happens. Now, as you can see through my gun sights right now, there's like these train cars right here. What we actually have to do is we have to get all the way over there. Now, point of interest here, there's a door right there, right where my crosshair is on. this door actually won't open until the Titan has been defeated. So we actually have to go on top of these cars and go back inbounds that way. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. We're just going to run out of bounds and try and skip this fight entirely here. This fence actually doesn't exist, so we can just walk right through that. Now be careful, some of these surfaces, like the road and all that, like this road is obviously fine, but this one is actually not solid, so just be wary of where you are walking around. This wall actually doesn't exist either, so we're just going to go right through that. Now this house is really important. Sometimes this house actually won't spawn. I don't know why, but sometimes it just doesn't show up. So if it doesn't show up, just throw a grenade, and I guess you just have to kill yourself, and then this house will spawn the second time. So through a lot of trial and error on my part, actually, I found out that you can just step on this railing and actually jump onto this section here. I'm going to do right now. I'm going to try. There we go. You're going to have to take a running jump at that. There's no way a regular jump will reach that. So running jump all the way over here. And now we are actually on top of the train cars. This is the door that refuses to open, but that's okay because now we can just go on the train cars, and there we are. We're back in the level. So you've successfully skipped it. Skipped that entire Titan fight, and we got a checkpoint too. Now you'll notice even though we actually reached the checkpoint, there's nothing out here. Oh my god, what do we do? Well, as it turns out, there's actually a spawned Hellfire turret right here that we can use to just die. And there you go. Upon reloading of the level after you die, you're right in the next section of the game. Insane, right? Now, for this skip, this just involves yet another orb jump, and what we can do is we can actually bypass this Hellfire turret completely. And it's kind of important that we actually kill that dude right there, just so our orb isn't friggin' flying all over the place. So we can actually skip deactivating this turret and also the fight that comes after it. And it turns out that this steel, like bundled steel beam asset is actually the perfect height for an orb jump. So what we're going to do is we're going to do an orb jump off of these steel beams here, and we're going to get on top of this roof and simply just go right over top of it. Don't even care. Alright, so we're going to try this right now. There you go. And jump to the roof. Perfect. There you go. Now, unfortunately, there's nothing else really out there. Like, none of the rest of this lumberyard level is actually loaded. So, unfortunately, we do have to go back in bounds here and grab this checkpoint. And there you go. Now, for this last Orick, California skip, we can actually skip a cutscene in the lumberyard and actually skip the entire lumberyard completely. So after the big Hawthorne drone fight, we can actually use this wood pallet right here and do an orb jump onto this roof. This is what I'm going to do right now. Alright, now that we're on the roof, all we have to do is run over here. But be careful, there's a lot of Hellfire turrets that will start shooting you if you're out in the open, so... Alright. Now we just go around this building here. And now, we can actually do one final orb jump on this, like, blockade. But be warned, it's actually kind of difficult to do this one. So, just gonna go right here, and the orb doesn't really move like you'd expect it to. So, just be extra careful on this one. Remember that you have 2 shots, so you have 2 chances to get over this fence. Alright, there we go. Now what we have to do is, well, we're at the ship. This is basically the end right here, but we have to disable this turret. Run around here, and go back and bounce on this police car. Alright. Now disable the final turret. And we have to kill this guy. Ooh, that was close. Alright. So everything is basically done, and even the objective is actually pointing at the ship. Now we have to run back to get a checkpoint here. Checkpoint. And there we go. Now all we have to do is defeat the rest of the enemies, and we're done with this level. And there we go. All finished. Well, I hope these skips were of some use, and hopefully they'll help you out in your speedruns. Thank you for watching.